Hello, students. Now, today we are going to start our third lecture in Electrical Machine 1 subject, that is in the third semester. So, previously, I taught you about two lectures. In the first lecture, basically, I told you that electrical machine is the main or important subject, and this electrical machine comprises two part: electrical and machines. So, electrical, as we all know, that we work on the higher power or higher, basically, wattage, and machines which work basically. So, we having two types of machine. One is the rotating, another one is the non-rotating. Rotating electrical machines are those machines in which we use electromechanical energy conversion. So electromechanical energy conversion process basically what is the process in which we are converting or conversing one form of energy to the another form. The form which we are using is basically the electrical, and which we want to convert, that is in the mechanical, and vice versa, means mechanical to electrical and electrical to mechanical. So if we want to convert electrical to mechanical or mechanical to electrical, so we can say that in mechanical we have rotation, we found torque, we basically work for the torque, we work for the movement, we work for the motion, basically that is denoted by the torque. And torque is basically what? It is the basically product of force and displacement. We also called as tau is equals to F cross D, where F is the force and D is the displacement. So force into displacement always count as a torque. So we want what? Basically, we want to convert torque into current and current into torque, or we can say voltage, current, power into torque, and torque into voltage, current, and power. So voltage, current, and power is basically in the form of electrical, and torque is the form of mechanical. Okay, hope you understand about this thing, that electrical, mechanical. So if I am converting electrical to mechanical, is basically what? Is basically motor. And if I am converting from motor to electrical, is basically what? It is a generator. So if we want a backup, we use generator. If we want to lift something, if we want to move something, if we want to basically push something from one end to another end, we need a force, we need a displacement. So that force and displacement basically sum up and multiplied, and we can say cross of it, we can convert into the torque. So we need what? We need a force and displacement. So force and displacement basically a representation of mechanical power. So we can say what? That mechanical power and electrical power, the converting between each other, that is electrical to mechanical and mechanical to electrical, we need another circuit. Instead of electrical, instead of mechanical, we need what? We need a magnetic circuit, that is coupling circuit. So the unit one totally deals with the magnetic circuit. So topic is magnetic circuit, we having subtopics. For example, we having reluctance, we having series and parallel circuit, we having all these things in this electrical machine. That is why the topic name is same, because magnetic circuits are there. But how many types of magnetic circuits we have? Basically, we just go through the basic of magnetic circuit. Okay, in this unit we are basically understanding that which type of basics we have to know. We have to basically uh, kept in our knowledge, kept in our mind, that magnetic circuit deals with so many things, means so many basics. So in this we are going to study about the so many basics. Okay, so in the previous lecture I told you about some basics of magnetic circuit or magnetic field. So through in this lecture we go through the previous one and the new one. Okay, so some previous thing will be there, because we have to revise all this thing. Otherwise we always forget that what we did before it. Okay, so in this lecture I will tell you that I will tell you about the future, new thing, and which I was taught you. Basically we will also discuss that thing. Okay, so in this, that is the electrical machine one, code is this, your unit one, magnetic circuit. Now objectives, as I earlier told you, that why we want to study this, why we are going to study this subject, and why we are going to study this magnetic circuits. We know in this subject, the basically we use, or we have to study about the machines, rotating, non-rotating. Again, rotating means we are converting one from to the another. That means we are converting electrical into mechanical and mechanical into electrical. One thing. So if I am converting electrical to mechanical, that is motor. And in motor, we want to study what? We want to study the construction part. Okay. Why we want to study construction? Because if construction is no there, construction we don't know, then how can we apply a principle on it? If we have nothing, then how can we say that it work like this, it work like this? That will be the hypothecation, or we can say it is an ideal condition. Hypothesis is there. So we need something solid, we need something practical. That is the construction part. So in this construction, we are going to study about armature windings, EMF, electromotive force, torque equations, starting, how can we start, speed control, and braking of DC motor. Through this, we can understand the generator and motor mode of operation. Armature reaction is also a part of it, occurs in it. Commutation is there, characteristics of DC motor, understand the principle of transformer. Okay, so transformer is a very important part in electrical engineering. It is a very costly and main component in power system. Okay, so we have to protect this. That is why we use some protective instruments, protective devices. Why we are using these protective devices? Because if protective devices are not there, then we can't able to protect it. And if we want to protect all these things, we need what? We need basically, if we want to protect it, so we need protection. So in protection, we having some another subject, that is switchgear protection and power system protection. So in this, what we are going to do, we are protecting all the power system equipments and mainly the transformer. It is very costly and main component. Why is it so? Because if we want to transfer of energy from one circuit to another by changing the voltage, by changing the current, we need a instrument. That instrument is a transformer. Okay, as we all know, transformer works in AC. So AC are of two type, single phase and three phase. So we have to going to study about three phase and single phase and three phase. Three phase also known as polyphase, and single phase also known as single phase transformer. Okay, and then different types of transformer, for example, auto transformer. Okay, and core and shell are the different type of construction. So these things. But before this, make student familiar with DC electromagnetic conversion devices. Now the word is there, electromagnetic. That is why the first unit is magnetic circuit. We have to understand that we want to convert electrical into mechanical and mechanical into electrical. We need a circuit, we need a system, we need a communicator, we can say, between this. For example, we want to communicate something to the another, we need a system. Now I am taking an example of mobile. Mobile is basically what? It is a communication device. Okay, it having a electronics in it, and some battery is there, some components are there mounted on a PCB. It is a basic concept. But why we are using mobile? Mobile is basically the communication device. So we want to communicate something, we need a device, we need a system. So for this, if I want to convert from electrical to mechanical, I need a system, I need a circuit, I need a we can say a function. So here we having a magnet. That is why we are going to study, or that is why I'm teach you about the magnetic circuit. Understand? Now moving forward. So from previous lecture, reluctance. Reluctance is a main part in magnetic field, or it is a property of magnetic material which basically opposes the creation of flux. Now try to understand. If reluctance is there, it is similar to your resistance. In electrical field, we having a resistance. Resistance does what? Basically, resistance resists the flow of charges. Resistance do what? And resistance is the property of conductor, we can say. But resistor is a device, or we can say is a component which basically comes in the category of passive element. It is an element, we also called as passive element. So that passive element is basically resist the flow of charges. It decreases the value of current. It is just behave like a speed breaker. I am taking an example. If you are riding a bike, okay, if you are driving a car, if you are riding a bicycle, if you are in the speed, for example, you are riding your bike with a full speed on a road, and you found a speed breaker between your road, what happens? Your speed breaker, as name suggested, breaking the speed, lower your speed. So breaker basically does what? Is basically apply the brake, apply the brake in bike. Through this, what happens? The speed decreases. With the help of this, in this resistance is working like similar to that one. In resistor, what happens? The current value decreases because it resists the flow of charges. It produces a drop. It produces what? It produces a drop in a circuit. So similar to that one, the reluctance is a property of magnetic material which opposes the creation of flux. Obviously, in current, in electrical field, what I'm saying you, that in electrical field, resistance is basically resist the flow of charges. Okay, but reluctance is a property of magnetic material. Resistance a property of conducting material, or we can say electrical material. But the reluctance is basically what? Reluctance is Reluctance is the property of magnetic material which opposes the creation of flux. Okay, and we can also calculate the value of reluctance by the formula L by mu A. L by mu A. L is the length, we can say, or we can say ampere ton is there, and mu is the permeability, and Weber A. Okay, so we can also call it as ampere ton per Weber, because this reluctance is inversely proportional to the MMF. And MMF is what? Magnetomotive force, is a product of turns and current. We also called as ampere ton. Ampere ton per Weber. So the reluctance is basically the ampere ton per Weber, where mu is the material permeability. Material permeability is what? Is basically the establishing magnetic flux in a material. Is basically what? Magnet measures ease of establishing flux in a material. Okay, so permeability measures ease of establishing magnetic flux in a material. How can we basically how much we can say, uh, how much of content of material in a material that we can generate, create, induce, or produce a magnetic flux in that one. That basically tells you about the permeability. So permeability measures ease of establishing magnetic flux in a material. Okay, so ferromagnetic material having high permeability, but non-magnetic material having low permeability. Obviously, if I am talking about non-magnetic material, what happens? Permeability will be lower. But if I am taking the ferromagnetic material, they having the higher permeability. For example, iron, nickel, cobalt, and other alloys. We can easily conduct, or we can easily generate the magnetic flux in that one, because they having the higher permeability. If I am telling you about the non-magnetic material, then they having the low permeability. Okay, next. So in previous lecture, I told you about this thing, that as per Ohm's law, if I'm talking about the Ohm's law, so in Ohm's law, we having what? We having three things in Ohm's law: voltage, current, and resistance. So if I apply this for the magnetic circuit, so here voltage become mmf because it is emf. In electrical field, we always say emf. If I'm talking about the open circuit, then we can say electromotive force, emf. But if it is a closed circuit, we always called as voltage. If we connected battery terminals, then we can say voltage occurs between the two terminals, two anodes, anode and cathodes, two electrodes, we can say. But if we open it, then we can say the emf is between these two. So if I am closing it, then it can convert into voltage. If I am not closing it, if I am behaving like a open, then mmf is there. So mmf is here, mf is this one, and here we having the resistance, that is the reluctance in magnetic circuit, and phi is similar to your current. Phi is similar to what? Phi is similar to your current basically. So current denotes flux, resistance denotes reluctance, and mmf denotes emf. So we can call this, for example, we always called I is equals to V upon R. Here I am telling you about phi is equals to mmf by R. Understand? So this is the similarity, and we can say the analogy between what? electrical field and magnetic field. Okay, just try to understand this thing. See here. And as I earlier told you, the flux having the unit, that is Weber. So here in this we having the Weber. Understand? And this reluctance, I earlier told you about this thing. Here the reluctance, and reluctance we can also called as L by mu A. L by mu A. So L by mu A, where R is equals to, where R is the resistance. Okay, and R we can write the V is equals to R I R as per the Ohm's law. So R is equals to V upon I. We can also write this. So here we can also write like this. S, or we can say R, reluctance is here. So reluctance is equals to F, that is mmf by flux phi, and the unit is Weber of flux. Understand? Moving forward, magnetic field intensity. Now, if I'm talking about the magnetic field intensity, so magnetic field intensity is basically the magnetizing force. Magnetizing force means, for example, if I'm talking about electromotive force, is basically what? It is a applied force through which the charges are moving from one end to another end. In my view, I am also called as electron motion force, because charges are electrons, negative ions. Positive ions are the space which is made by the electrons when they left their places. So they left the places, negative ions gone, then what ions remain? Positive ions. So as per my view, electrons are there. So that EMF is basically what? EMF in the electrical field is the electron motion force. If I am moving the force from one end to another, what happened? The electrons are moving from one end to another end. So we can say EMF is there. So here in this electrical field, the magnetic field intensity is represented by H. Is represented by H, and also called magnetizing force. This also called as magnetizing force. So it is work like a magnetizing force. Okay, it works like what? It works like a magnetizing force here. And in magnetizing force does what? Is basically push something. It pushes the fluxes to move or to go from one end to another end. So we can also call it, this is the force which is applied through which the flux are in the moving nature. Flux moves from one end to another end. Okay, the measures mmf per unit length of a circuit. So we can measures mmf, that is magnetomotive force. So magnetomotive force is similar to emf. So emf is the electron motion force. Here it is the flux motion force. Magnetomotive force means magnetomotive force. Magneto is using for the magnetic field, and m is for the motion. So in magnetic field we are giving some force, we are pushing something, we are giving input, and force is applied on it. Through this, what happened? The flux moves from one end to another end. Okay, so through this what we can say, it is basically the moving force. It is the applied force, or it is the moving force. Magnetic field intensity, that is H, represented by S, and also called as magnetizing force. So if I am moving from one end to another end, then force is applied. Measures mmf per unit length of a circuit. So what we are going to say, if I want to calculate the value, if I want some derivation, if I want some expression. So my dear student, if I want or if I need an expression, so for this expression, I write here H is equals to F by L is equals to Ni by L. Okay, H is equals to F by L is equals to Ni by L, and we can also call it as ampere turn per meter. What is it? It is ampere turn per meter, and Ni is ampere turn is equals to HL. H is the intensity, L is the length, or F is what? MMF, magnetomotive force. So we can call it as MMF per unit length of a circuit. MMF per unit length means how much MMF induced in a length. A length is given to you, for example, 5 meters. Okay, and mmf is given to you 10. So 10 by 5 is 2. So intensity will become 2 here, and the unit will be ampere turn per meter. ampere turn per meter. Okay, understand? Hope you understand about this thing. Now, we can also derive the value of ampere turn for from this expression, that is Ni is equals to HL. Ni is equals to HL, that is known as ampere turn. So my dear student, hope you understand about this intensity. Now move forward. Okay. Now try to understand how it works basically. See, magnetic field intensity, it is a coil wounded on a core and we having a magnetic core. This is your coil. In this we wound a winding on it. This is a core or this is a path where flux can move or flux can grow from one end to another end. This one. It is in the square nature, not rectangle. So all our sides are equal. So area will be the equal. But if it will be the form of rectangular, then area will be change. Understand? I hope you understand about this thing. Okay, just read it. Here it is written MMF is equals to Ni. Okay, now understand. Magnetic field intensity H is the magnetomotive force per unit length. Magnetomotive force, that is MMF, per unit length, means the unit length is there per unit length. Through this per unit length we can also call this. See, in the previous one I also tell you this thing Ni by L. Here it is Ni by L. Here it is equal to Ni by L. Okay, now length is given to you, that is 0.6. How much? 0.6. Okay, 0.6 is given to you. Now ampere turn meter, turn per meter. Ni is a MMF source, as you all know. Ni is what? Ni is what? Basically the ampere turn. Ni is what? The ampere turn. Now here the length is given to you there, for example, 0.6. So Ni by 0.6 is your intensity in this. And here MMF is equals to Ni. Ni is there because I is given to you. If I is already given to you, for example, I am taking another example here. Now, as per this figure, we can write the value of intensity is Ni by 0.6. Ni by 0.6 ampere turn per weaver. Okay, as per the unit. Ampere turn per meter. Okay, I am writing this. In this, we can also write like this Ni by 0.15 meter ampere turn per meter. But see, if in this figure I am giving you a value that turns are 10 and current is what? 2 ampere. Current is what? 2 ampere. Current is what? 2 ampere and turns are 10. So Mi will be 2 into 10, that is 20, and H will be 20 by 0.6 ampere turn meter. You can calculate in the decimal value. Okay, so we can calculate 180 point something, whatever it is. So you can calculate. So similar to that one here, 10 into 2. 2 is your ampere value, current value, which I am giving it, and turns are of 2, 10. Then 10 into 2, that is 20. 20 divided by 0.15, 0.5, 0.15 basically. So 10 by 20 by 0.15 is your, what value is your intensity. Okay, now here Ni is a MMF source. Ni is what? Ni we can call it as magnetomotive force. My dear student, magnetomotive force. So magnetomotive force is basically the product of ampere, product of turns into ampere, means N into I. Okay, and HL is a MMF drop. HL is what? MMF drop. HL is basically the MMF drop, and we can also call it as MMF value. So Ni is equals to HL. So Ni is equals to HL. We can calculate like this. Understand with this figure? I hope you understand. Okay, now move forward. Relation between B and H. Now, as I earlier told you, that B is basically the magnetic field density and H is the intensity. So the related by the equation we can write the B is equals to mu H. B is equals to mu H, where mu is the permeability. And we can also say that it is a Greek letter mu. We called as a Greek, in Greek we called as mu, mu is the permeability of the core. It is what? It is the basically the measure that how much amount we can generate of magnetic flux in that core. So permeability should be higher. If permeability should be lower, then we can't make it magnetic circuit. We can't make it magnetic material. Ferromagnetic material are basically having high permeability. For example, cast, iron, nickel, cobalt. I earlier told you about this thing. But if I am using, for example, wood, plastic, a question arises in it at that time that why can we use plastic instead of steel in a magnetic field for the magnetic field? We can't. If I am using, so permeability will be less, so magnetic flux introduced will be less. Okay, so is the permeability of the core. Now, permeability is what? Basically, the establishing flux in a material. In a layman language, I write in a very layman language, very simple language. The measure of establishing flux in a material means I want to establish a flux in a material. So, in a material, if I want to generate flux, so I want to understand or I want to know that material should having the capacity, should having the strength that we can establish a flux in it. So that measures tell you about the permeability. That measures tells you about the permeability. if if I am not capable to eat half liter of milk, but doctor suggests me to drink it daily, so my capacity not allows me to drink half liter milk in a day. So it basically not up to the my capacity, so I can't do it. But for a magnetic material, it is a capacity to generate 10 Weber flux. But if it is not capable to generate 10 Weber flux, so it is not suitable. It is not fit for magnetic material. So if I want to I want to fit the material for magnetic material, or if I want to use magnetic material, so they having some capacity, that is the permeability. That will be the permeability. So permeability is basically the measurement or measuring of establishing flux, measurement of establishing flux in a material. Understand? The larger the value of mu, the larger flux density for a given intensity H. Understand? B is equals to mu H. So we can also write like this: B is increasing, mu is increasing, H is also increasing. Or we can also say that B is proportional to H, where proportionality constant is mu, that is permeability. So the relation between B and H R is the proportional form. Okay, if it is in the proportional form, so if I want to remove the proportional thing, then we have to use constant, that is mu. So B is equals to mu H, where mu is the permeability and H is the intensity, and B is what? B is the magnetic flux density. Okay, so magnetic flux density is equals to permeability into intensity. So if permeability I want to calculate, then I can also say that B upon H. If I want to calculate the permeability with the help of density and intensity, then the ratio of density to intensity is known as permeability. Okay, and another way we can also say that the measure of establishing flux in a material, that is mu. The larger the value of mu, the larger flux density for a given H. So H is proportional to I. H is proportional to I. Understand? The larger value of mu, the larger flux density for a given circuit. Understand? So this is your H. H is equals to Ni by L. So we can also write like this: B is equals to mu Ni by L. If I want to calculate the value of B, density, in another way, so we need what? We need mu into Ni by L. Ni by L means ampere turn by length, AT by Weber. So we can also say that with this equation that B is equals to mu H, B is equals to mu H. So what I want to say that we can also derive the another expression of B, that is density, with the help of intensity and ampere turn and the length. So many relations are given. So many relations we can derive with this equation. Okay, I hope you understand this thing. Now here B is B and H related by the equation B is equals to mu H. okay, where mu is the permeability, and if permeability is less, see, if permeability is less, then the we can also say that the density and intensity will also having less value. Okay. Now the larger flux density for a given h is proportional to the I, and I is basically proportional to, we can also write the L is proportional to I, and L is equals to phi is equals to, we can also say that as L is proportional to I, so I L is equals to phi I, or phi is equals to Li. We can also say that means phi is proportional to the I. Okay, so larger the value of mu, the larger flux density for a given circuit. Now, see, this curve is very useful for us. Okay, first see and try to understand what this graph tells you. Just go through it. What this graph tells you basically. See, in this graph, it is starting from zero here. Okay, in this graph, it starts from zero here. Then we having this point 2, that is 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6. Here it is written B, that is density. Come to this side, here it is written 0, 500, 1000, 1500, 20, 2000, 2500, 3000, 3500, 4000, 4500, 5000. So here it is a H. H is what? H is basically the intensity, and B is the density. And intensity is basically the ampere turn per meter. So here the written is first sheet steel, then it is cast steel, here it is cast iron. See, student, in basically we can say, student, we can say in a simple way, student, we can also say that sheet steel, we are using what? Sheet steel. Now sheet steel we are using in transformer nowadays for higher power application or higher application, we can say this. But cast steel we use for the lower application, means small. I think so. Have you seen the small transformer which we use in a project way, or we are using in stabilizer we use in our home appliances? That small transformer having the cast iron to make it their core. But if I'm talking about the transformers which we are using in a power system that is having the higher capacity, we use sheet steel and cast steel instead of cast iron. So see here, the first graph or first curve showing you about the cast iron. So if I am showing you here, cast iron starting from here, point 0.2, point 0.4, then point 0.6 up to this intensity, and the higher value will you getting, you are getting it at 5000 ampere ton meter, comparison to Tesla, that is B, means density, it is point 0.6, or we can say 0.65, whatever it is, nearby 65. We are getting what? We are getting 5000 ampere ton per meter. So it is, the density is very lower. Density is very lower. And after this, see, the equilibrium stage starts here. And if I move forward, what happened? It fell down like this. It fell down like this here. So the value will decrease. The value will not increase, my dear student. The value will decrease. So if I want to higher the value, then cast iron is not suitable for me. Cast iron is not suitable for me. But see, in this, if I'm starting the value from here for cast steel, so see, student, see here, it is starting from 0. Okay, now maximal is 5000 intensity, but now the density is increases. It is up, it is more than 1.4. It is more than 1.4, but less than 1.5 we can say, not higher it. So cast steel is also a good choice for us to use. for making a magnetic material, for making a magnetic circuit, for making your magnetic core. That is why it is very essential for us. The relation between B and H is very essential for us. Why is it very essential, students? Because if I am not understanding, if I don't know that how much density we'll get in the core, that how much intensity we are getting in the core, means how much value we'll get, then how can we make it as a core? How can we work for a magnetic circuit? We can't able to work. We can't able to work for it. Can we? No, nothing. We can't do it for it. Why is it so? Because if density and intensity value is less, that I am not able to make it core, to make it magnetic core for working. So if I want to make it working, if I want to do so, so I need this type of metal. Because I earlier told you the two things are there: ferromagnetic material and non-magnetic material. We can say ferromagnetic material, in this category we have cast iron, steel, all these things. But if I am talking about the non-magnetic materials, so in non-magnetic material we having what? We having plastic wood. So instead of making the core of plastic wood, because permeability will be lower, but if you want to increase the permeability, we need higher permeability, because permeability is related with the B and H, density and intensity. The permeability is related between B and H, that is density and intensity. So we can write density is equals to that is mu into H. Okay, so density is equals to mu into H. Mu is permeability. If permeability higher, then I am getting the flux. If permeability is lower, I am not getting the flux. So here the curve between B and H is also known as hysteresis curve. So here in this, we having the relation between B and H. We having the relation between B and H here. The relation between B and H is basically representing by this figure, by representing by this curve. Okay, understand by this here. Starting from cast steel we having, now talk about the sheet steel. So sheet steel starting from here, now increasing 1.0, 1.2 density, 1.4, now till not near to 1.6, it is nearby 1.5 we can say. So sheet steel having more compared to the cast steel, the relation between BH. So it is very much suitable to make our core, to make our what? To make our basically magnetic core. So if I want to make magnetic core, we use sheet steel. If it is not possible, then we are using cast steel. So students, in transformer, basically we make lamination is core. Why? We want to reduce the losses, that is eddy current loss. Fingering, previous lecture I told you about the fingering. So that is the eddy current loss. Basically some part of flux moves to the body of the material, body of the core we can say. But instead of body, we want the flux should be mutual between the two coils or between the other coils, but they having some leakage. So that leakage is the eddy current, or we can say the fingering. So fingering is there. So sheet steel is good for that one, because we are having the higher density and intensity relationship. That is also known as hysteresis curve. So if hysteresis curve is there, higher value, then after the this value means 1.5 value, see what happened. This is the equilibrium state we are getting from here. From 4000 ampere turn meter means intensity, we are getting the equilibrium state, same constant. If I move forward, then what happened? Again it's fell down. In cast steel it is same value from 1.45 whatever it is to till from 3500, from 3500. Okay, understand? Hope you understand about cast steel and sheet steel, BH and density and intensity relationship. Now see here, now this is the magnetic application. Okay, we can also say that we are using in relays. We use this type of construction in relays. Okay. Hope you understand about the MCB. MCB is the is short form. Basically, the full form of MCB is miniature circuit breaker. Now, what MCB does in your home, basically it protect you with the fault, with your fault. It is protect you with the fault. So if I want to protect with the fault, if I want to remove with the fault, so the thing is that I want to protect my home with the fault. So I use what? That is MCB, miniature circuit breaker. Understand? I am using what? I am using miniature circuit breaker. Hope you understand about this thing. So here in this circuit, we having the spring. This is the powered point. Connection is there. Here is your coil. If I am giving the current, electromagnet occurs, flux occurs. It is in the moving nature. This is your armature, means working. Insulation. These are the contacts and these are the load. If fault occurs, then the contacts remove, means contact basically replaced by the connection. Basically the connection is closed, but after this the connection is not closed, that is norm open. So if fault occurs, they comes in the open condition. If fault not occurs, they in the closed conditions. Hope you understand about this thing. So it is working. So it is working like this. So this is again a magnetic application. So dear student, magnets we are not using in machines. We are using in switchgear protection equipments also. Switchgear equipments. In MCB, miniature circuit breaker, we having the contacts. In the relay is a sensing device which basically sense the fault and trip the circuit breaker coil. So in that relay, we are using again what? We are using magnet. In measuring instrument, you are going to study later on in this semester, not in my subject, not in the another subject, that is EMI, electrical measuring instrument. So you are going to study, or you're going to understand that the application of magnetic circuit not applicable in this. We use in both ways, both purposes. Okay, hope you understand this thing. Now move forward. Now properties of magnetic metal. What happens? Dear student, ferromagnetic metal having these ions. These are the scattered form. See, one is going from here to there, north to south, east to west. Again, different condition. Again, different. So they are in the scattered manner. They are in the which manner? They are in the scattered manner. Not in the same manner. They are the scattered manner. So always in a ferromagnetic metal like nickel, cobalt, iron, and alloys, we found this type of structure. We will find this type of structure. But what happens? What happens for the BH curve? Now, in ferromagnetic metal, a coil is wounded on the core. That core is made up of ferromagnetic metal. If I am applying a current voltage in it, what happens? Current applies. That current moving forward here, okay, I with resistance. Now what happened? Flux will introduce, flux will generate. So it work like this. See here, it is the initial position, density, intensity. It is the demagnetization. For example, I am having what? Demagnetization. Now in this demagnetization all are scattered, but if I give supply, they are making the connections, they are making the combinations like this is the magnetization curve, we can also say. Here no magnetization, now magnetization start, they are making their bondings. Now in the line they are aligned, they are equal, they make their combination like this at the saturation level. But after the saturation, equilibrium state occurs, and if we apply more supply on it, what happens? They fell down, means demagnetization. So we have to think about it, we have to work on it, that BH curve should be work between these between these points, between this limit, between the saturation limit. If saturation limit is not there, then what happen? If saturation limit is not there, then what happened, my dear student? The demagnetization effect occurs. Now magnetization circuit, progressive change in the domain orientation as the field is increased, H is proportional to the current. Obviously it is in the increasing manner. Understand? Now this is hysteresis. Hysteresis is also a relation between B and H. We can also say that. This is due to the residual magnetism. One thing is there in a magnetic field, we having some remain magnetic field. In the electrical field, we doesn't have any charges. Why? Because we remove the wire. If we connect a wire, we having a charges. If we remove the wire, charges goes down. Means no connection, open circuit. But in magnetic field, we have some residual magnetism. Residual means remaining flux is there. So it is showing by your BH curve. Now see, it is magnetization, but after a point, it is demagnetized. See here again. Its structure, it is also look like a leaf. So we can say it is a leaf curve, leaf structure. So that is your BH curve. Understand? That is the demagnetization process. As I earlier told you, most decrease must decrease hysteresis loop to zero. Specimen in a coil, if I am increasing more than the saturation, what happen? It gradually decreases. Decreases means here the current is increases, but flux is decreases, means demagnetization process. Understand? Hope you. Now these are again MCQs for you. You can just go through it. So many choices are given to you in the question. You can just do it. If you have any query, you can ask me. These are some MCQs again. These are again MCQs for you. Is basically deal with the BH curve and others. And some questions are like BH curve. BH curve shows the relationship between. So as I earlier told you, BH ratio is not constant for BH curve can be used to determine. Okay, the presence of parallel alignment of magnetic dipole moment is given by which material. If current in a conductor increase, then according to Lenz's law, self-induced voltage in the uniform magnetic field is. Some questions are for you, that is multiple choice question related with magnetic circuit. So these type of question you are also find in your competitive exams. And for move forward, you can ask me for this later on, that what issues you are having, what type of problem you are having. I hope you understand about whole this thing. I'm revising demagnetization process, hysteresis, magnetization process, how occurs, that is BH curve, how properties of magnetic material works, mean how magnets working, applications, relationship B and H, that is also known as hysteresis curve, dear students, is the relationship between B and H. What is intensity? That is Ni. Magnetic field intensity is there. Okay. Ohm's law for magnetic circuit. Which type of law? Which type of law we having? Okay. Then we having the reluctance. What is it? Okay. So I hope you understand about this thing. Whole laws, intensity, relationship between B and H, magnetic applications, properties of magnetic material. I'm just revising. Go through it. Magnetization process, hysteresis, demagnetization process. Okay. So these are some MCQs. I hope you understand about this thing. Hope you understand about this thing. So it is all about by myself. If you have any query, you can ask me. Okay, dear students.